Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear humanity, I've come again today and the topic is health, and we're going to ask some questions to young men and women of modern times. The question is, what does your life mean to you as a 20-year-old girl, a 18-year-old girl, or a 15-year-old girl? And the same question goes to young men, a 15-year-old boy. What does life mean to you as a 15-year-old boy? And the same question goes to 18-year-old boy. What does life mean to you? And the same question again goes to a 20 or up to 30 years old young men of modern times. What does life mean to you? Because in Islam, life is a religion, and that most holy, beautiful religion from which you young men and women were created, that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. Islam is the most holy, beautiful religion from which you young men and women of modern times were all created. I would like to direct this episode to Africans, but even Europeans are welcome, or white-skinned men and women are welcome to listen and learn, because you are all young men in one way or the other. You are all living Muslims on planet Earth. My people, what does life mean to you as a girl, 18 years old, 20 years old, up to 25 and 30 years? What does life mean to you as a woman? And then the same question goes to young men. What does life mean to you as a modern man, or 18-year-old, 20, 30, up to 30 years old? What does life mean to you, you so-called modern men of either African heritage or European heritage or Asian heritage? What does life mean to you? My people, we are going to base the entire episode on a 3-year little girl born in a country called Kenya, a country found in East Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. A little girl born, and she is a victim of HIV and AIDS virus. But she's very young, very, very little baby girl, 3 years old. Why do we have to look at a 3-year little girl and study and know what life means? The question was, what does life mean to you as a 20-year-old boy, a 30-year-old man, and a 15-year-old girl, a 20-year-old girl? What does life mean to you? And the answer, for as we say in Islam, Allah the Most Holy and Glorified Allah says, life is a religion, and that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. And it is from Islam that all creations were created, and men and boys, men and women were created. With that, we are go back and look at a 3-year little girl who was born, and she's HIV, and she has HIV and AIDS virus, of which her mother is a 19-year-old girl. I wouldn't call her a woman. Her mother is still a girl. My mother is still a girl, a little girl, who needs help in whatever way she can to bring up a 3-year little girl, because the mother herself is a victim of AIDS and HIV virus. These are diseases which are very rampant in sub-Saharan Africa, in countries like Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi, Malawi, Zimbabwe, all the way to South Africa. As you can recall, not many years ago, there was an epidemic of AIDS virus in the southern African countries, South Africa itself. Many people died of the virus, died of the AIDS virus and whatever. The reason is we are looking at a 3-year little girl and her mother. The reason why I bring this topic out is to highlight some points about Islam and the beauty of the religion of Islam. Because in Islam, before I do that, how confirm it you living human beings on planet Earth, or modern men and modern girls, that you are all living Muslims on planet Earth. You are all living Muslims, living on planet Earth. There is no such a thing as Christianity. Christianity is not a religion, it's a belief. There's a difference between a belief and a religion. There's a very big difference between a belief and a religion. So, with the fact that you are all living Muslims on planet Earth, Allah, the Most Holy, glorified Allah, who created every creation and who sustains whatever that He created, He chose the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam as the religion for all creations, the universe, whatever that is in it. Either you look at the universe with its magnificence of galaxies and solar systems and whatever, all those creations, they submit to one most beautiful religion of life, the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. With that, all men and women on planet Earth are Muslims, and all creations in either direction that have living motion or have life in them on planet Earth, their religion is Islam. Take, for instance, the air you breathe is the religion is Islam. The water you drink is the religion is Islam. The nearest celestial body to planet Earth, which is the moon, is the religion is Islam. Mother planet Earth herself, she's purely a Muslim mother planet. And the nearest the sun, which brings light at every dawn, is the religion Islam. And the entire planets in the solar system of planet Earth, those planets, they submit to one religion of Islam, the most holy, beautiful religion of Allah. With that, Allah has laid down divine holy decrees, either on the solar system of planet Earth, as well as on planet Earth herself, as well as on the entire universe. The entire universe has to submit, whether the entire universe likes it or not, it has to submit to Allah, to submit to the oneness of Allah, to the beauty of the religion of Islam, the religion of life, the most holy, beautiful religion of life, whereby it's Allah who laid down the holy divine decree that governs every living creation both in the universe and on planet Earth. It's Allah who introduced or sent a message through Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the message which contains holy divine laws, holy divine prescriptions, and holy divine directives that governs the body of a human being, governs the societies of human beings, governs all activities on planet Earth. Those divine laws demand that every human being dispense harmony, peace and harmony to one another, as well as dispense peace and harmony to the environment. In order for you to be healthy, dispense peace and harmony to whatever that you are living by, creations of Allah, the trees, the flowers, the bees that collects and pollinates every whatever that goes and become what men and women consume. All those, they are so under the divine holy decrees of Allah, under the divine directive or prescription in the religion, the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. Okay, we are going to look at a 3-year little girl in sub-Saharan Africa, in a country called Kenya, a country which identifies itself as its first whatever is called, they are Christian, well, as Allah says, I created everything in the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. Young women, we did ask a question when we began this interpretation. What does your life mean to you as a 15-year-old beautiful girl, 18-year-old beautiful girl, 20-year-old beautiful girl, and boys and whatever? What does life mean to you? And then we looked at a 19-year-old girl who became pregnant. And while she became pregnant, she contracted the HIV/AIDS virus the night that she went out with a man on a date, and she ended up contracting HIV as well as becoming pregnant. Now she has a daughter who is a 3-year little baby girl who is HIV positive. The most touching story that this girl told me is that her daughter takes up to 38 whatever tablets to be able to survive, to temporarily survive on this planet. And her mother, who is unemployed, who has no job, and then her mistake that she regrets is that she thought that her religion permits her to go out and have either casual sex or drink alcohol, because the night she contracted the HIV virus and the whatever, she had a bottle of champagne. As in Christian countries, women, when they say, would you like to go out with me? I can buy you a bottle of champagne. Young men and women out there, young men, I did ask you, what does your life mean to you as a 15-year-old girl? What does your life mean to you as 18-year beautiful girl? Does it mean a bottle of champagne when a man tells you I'll buy you a bottle of champagne? Does your life mean that is only worth a bottle of champagne, and after that you may end up either contracting a HIV, whatever, disease, or HIV virus, or AIDS virus? Does your life mean that it's worth just a bottle of champagne? My people, in Islam, Allah has laid down holy divine laws, holy divine prescriptions, holy divine directives. Among those, He has said to human beings, you are forbidden from the consumption of alcohol. Human beings, you are forbidden from engaging in any casual sex practices. Human beings, you are forbidden from any form of adultery. Human beings, you are forbidden from homosexual practices. And you are forbidden from any psychological and physical mutilations of others. My people, we are looking at a 3-year little baby girl who our mother is a 19-year little girl. He's a girl herself. She's not although she had a baby, but she was still a little girl. She was still young. But the only mistake she made, She believed that in Christianity, you are allowed to have a bottle of champagne while someone says, oh, I'll take you out, and you have a bottle of champagne with me. Young ladies, when you put, before I do that, when you as women, by nature, holy divine law and interpretation, you are vulnerable. Most of the time, women and girls, you are vulnerable. And your body is not me saying it, but you yourself, a certain percentage in your mind tells you, I'm vulnerable. Why? The reason is that that's how Allah explained it in the holy interpretations of the holy religion of Islam. In Islam, Allah says, the female creation of a woman. A female creation of a woman, a living human being, a woman. And I also explained in great detail the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam through the female creation of a woman. With her, we did honor her and task her to carry on the task of producing another creation, or carrying another creation in her body, of which she can one day become one and say, I have a baby. And that baby sometimes becomes shouting, is calling, mommy, mommy, mommy. And that alone, that baby, when she says mommy, she's calling. When she says mommy, 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 she's confirming that indeed Allah honored you as a female creation, to be able to be called and identified by another living human being, that you are real. The baby says, Mom, you are honored. In the religion of Islam, you are honored by the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, that you carried me for 9 months in your womb. So that way, a mother, a female creation, is a very special creation, in which Allah explained in great detail the beauty of the religion of Islam. For instance, take it for instance, a young woman in her prime years, 19 years up to 20, the beauty, the fragrances of beauty, and whatever that rhythms and fragrances of beauty that flows when she walks, every flow, every step, every whatever that she flows on her body. It says, this is the beauty of Islam, the religion from which I was created, the religion of the red and bright cells in my body, which constructs every muscle tissue in my body. In that, Allah explains and says, this is Islam, is the most holy, beautiful religion from which all men and women, all women and men were created. With that, if a woman or a girl, a young girl in her prime years, every man will turn and compliment and give a compliment, whether they like it or not. My people, young women of modern times and whatever, you are all more living Muslims on planet Earth. And with that, you are required by divine holy prescription to learn the Quran and practice and teach, be able to pass on the Islamic knowledge that you've earned as a girl growing up, in order to protect yourselves from the dangers that Allah keeps in the wilderness of conjectured beliefs. Some of these beliefs, they say, they shed the blood of the Son of God. That statement may sound kind of simple, but it's a psychological weapon which humbles any soul, which humbles any African soul. In Africa, we don't believe in shedding blood. We never used to shed blood. We believed in the sanctity and the beauty of life, whereby men and women lived side by side with lions, with elephants, with zebras, and they still do today. The Maasai tribe of Africans, they still live side by side with lions. and zebras and antelopes and so on and so on. In that, there is a clear interpretation that we never used to shed blood with machetes and spears. Well, as if you cross over where they believe of bloodshed originated. Men used to gather themselves and sit in coliseum, places called coliseums. Some still stands today. The remnants of those places still stands today in places like Greece and Rome, where men used to sit with their utensils of alcohol filled to the whatever, as well as with a spear and a machete. In those days, they used to say, pick a day or like a Sunday, they would gather in the Colosseum, and they say, gladiator, so and so, take the front, show us what you can do. So the man who's, and so the other gladiator, they would start hacking themselves with machetes and spears and what have you, spilling the blood of either another gladiator or they usually leave the gang and the bloodshedding kind of practicing whatever life. When they came to Africa, whereby men and women used to live side by side with wild animals in the gardens of the what we call the grazing gardens of the Serengeti, the Ngorongoro, the Tsavo National Park, and so many. Men were roaming freely without attacking any elephant, without attacking any zebras, without even eating them. So, because some of these, we took them as either our clan, whatever, members. That way we had a spiritual connection which would allow a buffalo that takes 9 months to carry its swarm of a new calf, and a person who carries a womb of a child for 9 months, to communicate and know when the rain will be plenty. So that if a buffalo gives birth after 9 months, there will be plenty of grazing, there will be plenty of food for the buffalo to feed and raise its young, and for the woman to feed and raise their offspring. Because their tribes, in modern times today, in countries like Uganda, who say their tribe is a buffalo. They don't shoot, they don't eat buffaloes. They don't eat the meat of buffalo. They don't do anything because they have a spiritual kind of interrelation. They do interact. A man who said that McLaren is a buffalo, he wouldn't come out of Norway and slaughter a buffalo because it's forbidden by that whatever interpretation of their spiritual whatever guidance that if your clan is a buffalo, you shouldn't kill it, you shouldn't spill the blood of it. So that way, we had what we call, we would understand when Mother Nature is preparing to bring rain when the seasons will be in order. But once you were introduced to the carriages of where men used to have machetes in coliseums, those who survived the coliseums are now called, identified as Saint Stephen, Saint Peter, Saint so and so. Those are men who survived being eaten by hungry lions after being thrown in the cages of hungry lions which has been kept hungry for a week. Men used to throw living men in the cages of the hungry lions, and the lion would strip every muscle tissue from a living human being. And these men could drink and laugh, and you see, they were laughing and drinking in places called coliseums. In what we call places like Greece and Rome and what have you. And that's where the belief of bloodshed originated. It's a belief, it's not a religion. A religion is whereby a human being carries a womb for 9 months, a buffalo carries a womb for 9 months, and they can tell, they have a communication, spiritual interaction that in whatever, this period, food will be plenty, the rains will be plenty. If we gave birth, whatever will survive. But in modern times, Mother Planet asks question after question to modern men, young men and men, the women. What kind of life do you want on this planet? Or which kind of life do you want on this planet? Spending 365 days of the year in warehouses, manufacturing and amassing of weapons, nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction? Is that the kind of life you want? And if we ask that, if Mother Nature asks that question, the language in which she asks is to give you a glimpse of what it means to desire or to spend 365 days in kind of trapped in manufacturing weapons. Weapons of mass destruction. Paying yourself high wages, very handsome wages, saying, oh, so and so pay $10 million to manufacture a nuclear whatever or ballistic missile. My people, you are required by divine holy law to dispense peace and harmony, either to the environment, to your children, and to abide and adhere to all divine holy laws, divine holy prescriptions, and divine holy directives, which we are laid down, which we are revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam through the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam, the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam, from which you young men and women were created from. So with that, we are going to go back and look at a 3-year-old little girl in the country of Kenya, a sub-Saharan country. The 3-year little girl is an HIV victim. And a mother, a 19-year-old girl, is a mother who is also an HIV/AIDS victim. However, the only mistake she regrets is that she followed a misguided concept which says you can't drink 5 bottles of champagne every night because you're a Christian. You can't drink 5 bottles of champagne because you're a Christian. In Islam, Allah says, are forbidden men and women from the consumption of alcohol. With the other side, where it says you can drink 5 bottles of champagne, you can as well as when you drink 5 bottles of champagne. The first thing is that you go out of your head. You lose any sense of accountability of your own body. And any predator, sex predator, either is HIV, that predator is HIV positive or whatever, will use your body and abuse it. And if unfortunately, you might end up getting pregnant, carrying a baby who is HIV positive or AIDS or whatever positive, and you are too, you are HIV whatever positive. So you brought someone so young because of their recklessness and the foolishness that you disobey or you follow the belief, a conjectural belief, which comes and tells you, we crucified the Son of God, and the Son of God is called Jesus. Do you know what it means to say a living human being, an African man who has never seen a buffalo or a goat slaughtered, and you say to him, we crucified the Son of God? He knows he's not the Son of God. You know what it means? It's a psychological weapon, which demeans whatever in that person, which demeans and takes away all dignities of such an individual. Because in Africa, we never used to shed blood, let alone of animals which we used to live by, and we still do live by. Like the Maasai people of Kenya and the Serengeti, they still live side by side with the lions, zebras, and elephants. In that, there's a confirmation that indeed, as Africans, we never used to shed blood of one another. Okay, we are going to look at a 3-year little girl who is HIV, who was born with HIV. Because when I heard the story of this girl, I was so concerned. I wanted to find out what are the statistics or what are the numbers of AIDS cases, HIV cases in Kenya. And I was amazed. These numbers are in the range of 3 to 5 million young men and women under the age of 30 who are HIV positive. Yet, some of them are unemployed. Yet Kenya is one of the most beautiful piece of land on planet Earth, whereby Kenya can easily produce enough fruits and vegetables to feed the entire population of China. If we're men and women, young men and women of Kenya, we are rightly guided. They would feed produce enough fruits and vegetables to feed the entire populations of China, or the entire populations of India, or whatever, of the Arab world. Well, however, men, when they are being brought up, given an education, they are given this information. They are telling them, you want to be an astronaut. Have you ever eaten anything gone in outer space as whatever? How many families do depend on food that is gone in outer space? I've seen the statement that someone was saying, these days they grow whatever in outer space. How many families either in California or whatever do feed on whatever that is grown in outer space? So that is a kind of a weapon which is used as disinformation to mislead men, to misguide young men. The same way such information is, a man say, we are very advanced in knowledge. We have 20 or 30 or 50 nuclear warheads in our warehouses, Nevada desert. What has a nuclear warhead, if you are to serve it to Californians or New York, what will the rubbles of the remnants of where it has heat? How will they feed every New Yorker? Shredding them into whatever, into dust, and then it's 5 days of the year engaged in production of such weapons. My people, we are looking at the question we started with. What does your life mean to you as a 15, 20, 18 beautiful young girl on planet Earth today? Does it mean your life is just worth a bottle of champagne in a one night out, or it's something else that you've got to respect according to the Islamic divine holiday and interpretation and the prescription that were laid down by your Creator, the most holy glorified Allah, who gave you such beauty that when you look in the mirror and you see your face, your cheeks sparkling with rhythms of life and beauty, and then you realize, indeed, you're a beautiful woman, you're a beautiful girl. Indeed you are. You are a creation created from the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. With that, you are required by holy divine law to adhere, to obey, and live by the holy divine laws that were laid down through the Holy Quran, through the most holy Prophet, Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, to guide mankind that all men are created equal, and all men, we are created from the most beautiful religion of Islam. With that, if the 19-year-old girl in Kenya who has a 3-year-old little girl had not been misguided, she would have been able to not to bring a child or to contract HIV/AIDS herself. She would have been able to award up, fight off, using through the divine prescription, divine holy prescription of prevention is better than cure. Allah says each and every divine holy law. For instance, when Allah says, do not consume alcohol, it's a divine holy prescription interpretation directive that prevention is better than cure. Do not put alcohol in your body, otherwise you may end up having no reasoning accountability of your body, of yourself, and any sex predator will use that against you, including passing on deadly diseases like HIV and AIDS, as well as to your offspring. And on top of that, alcohol can easily alter your genetic original birth structure and cause you to give birth to children who are either severely genetically disabled or with genetic or medical disorders, which You may find it very hard to love the child that you carry when they are kind of either severely genetically have a medical disorder. You find it very hard to take it that you gave birth to such a child. Well, it was your mistake because you refused to obey a holy divine law, holy divine prescription, holy divine guidance and command that Allah laid down as a prevention is better than a cure. These are laws, divine holy laws. Allah laid down and said, do not drink alcohol, do not engage in casual sex practices. That way, if we are to identify yourself with those whatever, you find that a girl of 19 wouldn't have given birth to a baby, a 3-year-old little baby, who is now HIV and AIDS virus victim. Why is she a victim of AIDS and virus? AIDS and HIV virus? Because her mother thought that Christianity allows people to engage in drink alcohol. Sometimes in one of the rituals, when you go in a service, a Sunday service prayer, you are allowed to consume. You are given what they call there's a period when it comes to say they serve people with they call them hostias, something they put in on their whatever. That thing in which they dip in alcohol and then they press it on your tongue. When they do that, it's as if they're telling you, you can drink 70 bottles of a tan, 70 bottles of champagne every day. No problem. The problem is that you lose your mind, you lose all senses of accountability of yourself, and many sex predators powering the streets of either the slums of Nairobi, Kenya, whatever, and you end up becoming a victim of HIV, AIDS virus, and so many other sexually transmitted diseases, and unable to look after your offspring, because each man, when the day he meets you, if he gives you buys you a bottle of champagne, that means the rest, if you become pregnant and produce children, you have to look after those children. His duty, his way of life, he tells him, you can do as you wish, because he can drink as 10 tons of bottles of champagne every night, and goes out of his day, ends up either sleeping in a ditch on the streets of Nairobi. And then after, if whatever, they'll rise up and say, oh, the taxes. Taxes? What was I really touched me when I was watching the news a while ago with these boys we are protesting about the taxes, was that men were aiming assault rifles at young boys, some of them in the 5%, their children, their own children, men aiming assault rifles. And today, when I looked at the news, they were saying that there are many bodies presumed from dumping whatever rubbish sites. Men killed for no reason. Why? Just because when you say with Christian, nobody else values your life. If they tell you kill the Son of God, then why that way? I said to you, my people of the East African community, all the way to South Africa, my people, you are all living Muslims. If you have a common God, a common belief, you would save your beautiful nations, your beautiful children, from being either hacked down by assault rifles, imported. Because in Africa we don't manufacture assault rifles. The only country which I was surprised here was Sudan. I was amazed to find out that Sudan manufactures its own whatever. So, my people, the African whatever, please, my people, even Europeans, more than whatever men of Europe, this meant whatever, mental sickness whereby you think yes, we can do as we wish. No. Allah has laid down holy divine law that governs human body. If you go out of those, whatever, and say, I'm independent, I can drink as 20 bottles of whatever every night, the first thing that will alert you that you are really whatever is a hangover, what you call hangover, headache. In the morning when you wake up and you cannot free yourself from the pounding headache in your head, because every brain neuron tissue is kind of saying that your brain was damaged. Your own body bears witness and says, you fall. Your own brain neurons were damaged, severely damaged, by diagnosing, by a diagnosis which you by symptoms whereby you feel a hangover, headache, pounding headache. And foolish enough, the first thing you do is either to go and buy some whatever and then swallow and say, I have to get rid of it. The only way you can live a beautiful life is by adhering, obeying, and allowing yourself that whatever beauty that you see on either your face, in your face, on your children or your mother or father, that beauty is what is Islam. That's the beauty of Islam, the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. Life is the religion, and that most holy, beautiful religion is Islam. My people, I came to talk about a 3-year little girl in Kenya whose mother is also a victim of HIV virus. The mother doesn't have a job. And it was night, what you call, in European they used to call what they call one night stand. You go out for one night and you end up with a man, and in Christianity that is allowed. In Islam, a girl is supposed to be under her parents' roof before 7 o'clock in the evening, and covered, protected from the wrath. Let me tell you before I close why Allah has commanded women to cover their bodies in order to protect their what you call modesty, to keep their bodies in modesty, to keep themselves from being exposing every whatever of their beauty. Why? As Allah commanded men and women, girls, to cover themselves with veils, which we call hijab. My people, me as the sun in the sky, I know each and every revelation, commandment, divine interpretation, divine prescription, divine directive that was given to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a guidance for men and women to be able to survive on this planet without getting into conflict with either Mother Nature or with their own body. With that, Allah commanded women to cover themselves while they are walking on the street. One of the reasons is that in the head of a woman, in the skin of the skull of a woman, most of the life in a woman being go through that part of the brain, the head. The skin on top of the head of the woman is a very special whatever, because underneath in the skull, inside the skull, Allah created a special place which stores only the most holy, beautiful name Allah. With that, the sun in the sky, if you are a mother, you'll be kind to yourself and say, that part of a brain of a human being, when a child is born, it takes very long time kind of to harden up, to be able to see this child is now whatever. Most of the time, it looks as if it's soft. That part of the brain, the skull. In women, it never closes at all. It remains like as if you are born yesterday, because that's where life flows from the galaxy into what we call a female of creation. With that, you are required to adhere and obey all the holy divine laws that were laid down by Allah. Because if you are to cover yourself, or if you are to walk on the streets with your hair kind of whatever, and the light of the sun in the sky touches the skin of the scalp of a woman, it can easily turn whatever energy whatever energy that comes from the galaxy, the sun, to turn that into what we call metallic elements, which your body has no way to process, to break down and process into something. Because as I told you, all energies that come life, it gives women life, comes from above, and they only use that place, the skin in the scalp. And the last thing, in order to protect it from being annihilated, you have to cover yourself that it gently flows with ease and respect you. So, with that, in countries where women say, oh, we are Christians, you find that there are many mental asylums that are filled up with women who have lost their head. Because once the light that comes from the sun touches the skin on the skull of a woman, it can cause what we call, instead of giving that woman life, it can make those whatever become mutate into what we call a metallic element, which can either cause your body to kind of become, your blood to become whatever with leukemia, or it can cause mental problems, mental disorders, because the metallic whatever energies which have become metallic, they can easily embed themselves in every neuron of the brain, causing the brain to malfunction and the entire body to malfunction, entire rotational sequencing cycles of the red and black cells to malfunction, because the body of a human being cannot process a metallic whatever energy, metallic or whatever that if it was to occur in a human body. Anyway, my topic today was how, and I did ask a question: what does your life mean to you? I leave that question every young woman out there. But before I go, I'll say to you, the most beauty that you see on your face as a young woman is because you are a Muslim. You were created from the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam. Love Islam. Look after and protect your offspring from the whatever of any conjectured belief. Protect yourself from diseases, casual sex diseases, which are passed on through casual sex practices. Respect your body. Don't let your body to be just a one evening bottle of champagne and you end up contracting AIDS and whatever, either passing it over to your offspring. Because once you are under or diagnosed with HIV and AIDS virus, not Joanna, your friend, or not Beatrice, your friend, will be in there, whatever. It will be you. It will be you, the beautiful girl. It will be you who suffer all the whatever, the torments and the whatever that comes with being reckless, being kind of reckless with your own life, not looking after it according to the holy divine laws, but living it. I think this is my way of life. I can easily have a bottle of champagne either with Peter this evening, and then at lunchtime tomorrow, I can have a bottle of champagne with John and so on and so on. And each of them, they can easily, after a bottle of champagne, end up in bed with you. That's what we call casual sex practices. And that is fueling the spread of disease from one human to human at a speed that no man can put our whatever to. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This story We who have come and look why do a 3-year little girl in the sub-Saharan African Kenyan country is HIV AIDS virus positive. And what are the difficulties that she's going through? What are the difficulties her mother is going through? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You are all living Muslims on planet Earth. Love and cherish and love the religion from which we are created. Love the most holy, beautiful religion of Islam, because that's what Allah created you for. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.